Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to explore the Vampire the Masquerade collectible card game from 1994 to mine it for ideas for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. So why are we going to do this? Well, first of all, I just want to share with you a little bit about my life and one of the ways I'm blessed. And then hopefully this will be a blessing to you. I have a good friend who's a picker, and that means that they keep thousands of dollars in cash, and they go and they put up signs all around our local area and say, hey, I'm buying collectibles, comic books, antiques, all kinds of stuff. So what happens is people get to the point where maybe some, estate sales, or somebody just has a collection and they're like, I want to sell this whole thing for cash, rather than go through all the trouble of selling everything on eBay, which is a gigantic pain in the butt. This friend of mine will show up and they'll put cash on the barrel, and they can do deals as low as like $50, as high as like $500, or he's even dropped like $5,000 in cash on a buy. And so this was just an extra that he got on one of his latest buys, and he gave me a huge collection. This is a pristine, beautiful collection from somebody who truly cared about this game and took gorgeous care of it for 26 years, and now I own it. Now, I'm never going to run Vampire the Masquerade. It's not 1998, right? And in America, by the way, VTM is almost fully dead. And so, this game this is the best use of this game now, right? Is just the idea that I can mine it for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. And this also fits a bigger theme I have recently, which is the idea that I really think indie games are having a tougher time, and Dungeons & Dragons is growing like crazy. The strength of Dungeons & Dragons is stronger than ever. I think, and I think the indie game groups are having a hard time. So what I want to do now is I want to show you these cards, and these cards are really fascinating. And we're going to look at these cards from the perspective of NPCs within a Dungeons & Dragons game. And I'm also suggesting to you, this game is not hard to get nowadays, and it did not turn out to be valuable. Now, why is that? Why did the VTM game turn out to not be very valuable? Well, basically, the reason why these turned out to not be very valuable is the rules weren't great, and also nowadays people, the whole goth scene is done in America, and so it's just it's a thing where you really don't we don't really use these in the same way that we used to. This game just really disappeared in many ways in America. But it's a gold mine for thinking of cool concepts for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition characters. So here we see, and by the way, every character I'm going to show you, this is the collection of the Masters, the Vampire Masters. These are powerful Vampire Masters, right? And each one of these, in my opinion, could be inspiration for a player character, or inspiration for a non-player character. And I highly suggest you just put out $20, $50, $100 if depending on how much disposable resources you can get, and you can get hundreds of these cards for $20, $50, even $100. For $100, I think you can get 1,000 of these cards, right? So now I will say this is a special collection. It was given to me, by my friend for nothing, and I really wanted to do something special with it. So let's look at Ego the Hungry, right? So here we're kind of seeing a kind of a young tough, right? And so the way we bring this over in the 5th edition is you'd have kind of a young tough, right? And also the idea that a young tough can be a formidable opponent, a foe, right? Here we see Nick. Nick is clearly a vampire. And by the way, for your Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, you can just completely take off the vampire aspects of this. So my idea to use these going forward is I'm going to keep these in a nice clear plastic box, and then I'll use these, and sometimes I can use the name direct. Like Ego, I could definitely use that name directly. For Nick, I would rename him Nikra. Hasina? Awesome. Kessie? That's two separate D&D 5th edition names, right? But here, as you look at these, there's really great aspirations. So Nick, here you see somebody who is clearly just done feeding, right? So I would run a non-player character who was insatiable. That's kind of the vibe I would get for that character. Hasina Kessie, This is a gold mine. This is exactly why I'm going to be using these cards going forward for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition non-player characters, right? So Hasina, one, this is such an amazing painting done by Susan Van Camp that I can just literally, describe this character physically. That's another thing that we can do with these for your Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition game, right? So if you get these, one, no one's going to be, and by the way, if you get these and you use these for your game, what you want to do is just get opaque backings for your cards, right? And then just keep it so that only you see, and then you could describe your characters, right? Some of the names you can use direct, some of them you'll have to modify a little bit, but these are, Hasina Kessie is just fantastic. I'm so thrilled with this character, Hasina Kessie. So here, with a lot of these characters, when you use them for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, one of the things you could do is you can simply describe their physical form, right? So even Ego, right? You could say, okay, well here, you guys meet an NPC, Ego. He's the baker for the local town. He has, brown hair. He wears it long in the back, but it's shaved on the sides, right? And you could even see he's wearing a hoodie, but you can quickly change that to a cloak. Hasina Kessie is such a prominent, powerful character. So one, I would choose Hasina or Kessie, right? So I would say Hasina. I would use Hasina in my game. You could use that directly in Dungeons & Dragons. Brilliant, brilliant idea, I think. And for Hasina, what I would do is I would make her a village leader, right? And the vibe I'm getting from Hasina, just from looking at this, is specifically, in my opinion, sorcerer, right? So I would make her like an 8th level sorcerer. I would use her physical appearance exactly as it is, just describe her directly from her physical appearance, because she's really, because the image that you're seeing allows you to bring this really brilliant, bold, beautiful, beautiful energy right to the character within Dungeons and Dragons. And then also, when you see Hasina, you see this object behind her, right? And you're like, what is that? What is behind her? Well, what you would do to bring that into the game is I would make that directly, very directly, I would bring that right in as a necklace, right? So describe this necklace that she has, and then leave it there, right? Say it's a skull with wings on the side, and she wears it as a necklace, and it's silver, right? And then don't explain it any more than that, and then let it sit, right? And one of the reasons why is wait until a character connects it, right? They will connect it. They'll be like, oh my gosh, I've seen that symbol before. There's that dude's head, and that crow's behind it, right? And then you let it stick. So I'm so excited about this. This was a really wonderful gift that a friend of mine gave me. I have like 100 of these cards, and I'm just super excited about exploring each of these Vampire Masters to make powerful visual non-player characters in my Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaign. And I highly encourage you to go get yourself a collection of these as well. And the reason why is your players will never see this coming, right? You can go find other people, who will give you different ideas, and those are all good. But a lot of times, basically, you're coming out of left field if you're using Vampire the Masquerade 1994 cards for your Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition game, NPC inspiration. This is the way to go. Check it out. Give it a shot. I really highly encourage you to try this out. All that is my opinion. What do you think? Do you think this is a great way to build Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition characters? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.